Hello, class. Time to go over your main project for this class, which is Project 3, the research paper. This is the accumulation of everything we have done in this course so far, and it's basically the main thing you should be getting out of this course. All of our outcomes are geared towards the research paper, which is Project 3. So let's get into it. Goals: using everything you've learned about rhetorical strategies, writing, synthesis, and revision, you will now write an argumentative research paper that includes a thesis statement about your texts or texts, more likely text because you have multiple sources, and use evidence from the sources in your annotated bibliography to support your thesis. Basically, you're using Project 2 to support what you are doing in Project 3. So this shouldn't be such a heavy task anymore because that's why I like Project 2, because Project 2 is all about finding those sources, reading them, finding information that you need, synthesizing that information, and then Project 3 is all about writing what you found, writing about your argument, whatever argument you have about whatever topic you chose for Project 2, which is the same topic for Project 3. So this project began with a question or some questions about the chosen topic, whichever topic you chose. In your annotated bibliography, your proposal should have helped formulate a response to some of these questions. Your job is to then formulate these answers to a coherent claim or thesis that can be arguable. And that's the key thing here. You want to make sure this makes an argument. I don't want to report that was what Project 2 was about. You were just kind of navigating to see what was going on with your topic. But Project 3 is all about arguing about what's going on in your topic. You must make your voice in the academic discussion clear to your readers. This paper overall must be at least 10 to 12 pages long and not include references page. I would just keep it about this length. It could be a little longer, maybe 14 pages max, but no, not much longer than that. I need to get through these papers, and if it's like a 20-page paper, it's going to be that's a lot. But 10 to 12 is at least 10. 12 is great. Any little, maybe a page or more after that. You must include a works cited. I'm sorry. Let me change that. This should be a references page for us, not a works cited page. If I don't change it, I'm going to forget. References page that contains your primary and secondary text. Additionally, your sources need to be cited correctly in APA. The first draft of your assignment is due whatever date it says. Don't look at the date here. This could change depending on what quarter you're in, but whenever it's due. Then, of course, once the rough draft is due, you will have a mini portfolio due on whatever given date it says in your actual assignment, not this video, which will include, of course, a cover letter, a rough draft, comments made by your peers, and a revised draft. And as always, please make sure to draft this in Google Docs and then submit the Word file that you download from Google Docs onto Canvas. And then, of course, give me the link to Google Docs. First draft, rough draft, it just has the due dates here. Some things to consider. Look back at your annotated bibliography, your proposal, your second assignment. If you feel stuck, you started this writing about this since the beginning of the quarter, just about. Right after our first assignment, you went right into your second. So you know what your topic is about. You've had plenty of time to kind of immerse yourself in it. Now it's about getting yourself into this conversation, this academic conversation about what exactly point you want to make about your topic. When writing about a paper this length, I highly suggest that you make a game plan before you begin. Look at your thesis statement, look at your sources you're using, and make an outline before you write a single word. Your outline will help you stay focused on your topics and arguments. I have an assignment specifically geared to making an outline, and that's what I'm going to go over here in a second. So we'll talk more about that there in a bit. Remember, you have a lot of resources available to you, the Writing Center, the library, and more. And remember, I am a great resource for you. I'll be happy to answer any questions or offer advice if you need it. Also, a final draft of this project will need to be at least 15 pages long. By the final draft, I mean your revised draft that you will write for the final portfolio. This will be easier to do once, of course, you get my comments just like before. So don't worry so much about this length here. Think of this as basically this paper is the crown jewel of the final portfolio. It is your proof that you've mastered research writing and that no matter what class you go into, you will be fine. And so to help you with this, I mean, it's a pretty simple assignment, right, compared to the other two. I mean, there's not much here. It's because basically I'm just telling you, write the paper now using your 10 or so sources that you've gotten. And if you've gotten more, great, no problem. Write 10 pages about your topic. But like I said, 10 pages could be maybe the longest paper you've ever written so far in your career. So to help you with that, if you go to modules, and I don't know what week this will be in. It could be in week 7. It might be in week whatever. But whatever week you're doing this assignment, and it happens to be in week 6. You will have, of course, a lesson about writing a research paper, which is honestly the same lesson that I used before in my English 101 classes because it doesn't matter. It's always the same. Doesn't matter the length. The length is just different. But you have two assignments that help you for this. One is the outline, and the other one is, of course, reading the Bedford Researcher, which is one of the reasons why a big part of this class has been reading the Bedford Researcher because it's just the best tool I have to give you to write a paper, to find sources, to figure out how research works, all that stuff, synthesis, all this great stuff is in this book, and this, of course, will continue to help you now develop a research paper. But first, um, let's go into this here. This is just like before that you've written so far, but in this case, these next couple of chapters from 12 to 15, and a little bit of 16, but I didn't want to do 5 chapters. I think 4 was enough for this. It just goes over what your position statement is about your topic in one chapter, how to develop an argument in the next, developing an outline, which you will develop in this other assignment, and then, of course, using your sources effectively. These are all here to help you kind of navigate working on your paper, how to figure out how to start it. Because sometimes people see this long, big assignment, but again, you're not starting fresh. I'm not just dropping this on your lap and saying, right, you've been working on this already. That's what the project two was all about. So it's really about taking that project two and then working it into an actual argument that you want to make. And again, so do this, but once it starts talking about the outline, one of the things that you want to go into is this other assignment here, the research paper outline for project three. And so here's the outline itself that you'll download and fill out. But just to go into it, you need to quickly just, not quickly, but take your time and make a research paper outline for your paper that you will write for project three. Download that assignment, the template. And you know what? Let me just do it now. Let me just download it here. And once you download it, you'll just fill it out in Microsoft, not Microsoft, I'm sorry, in Google Docs, just like before. Fill it out to your best of your ability, and then upload it here. And that's it. That's all I want you to do. Just honestly, this is for your sake, just to help you write this assignment. And sometimes Canvas takes a little bit. Okay, there it goes. So here's just what I want you to fill out. An APA research paper outline, the title of your page. This is just the cover page as you always written in APA, nothing different here. Here's where it gets into the actual research paper itself. Introduction, the title of the paper is bold, just as before. What's the hook of the paper? Some background information you can give? Briefly summarize any important information, and then what's your thesis statement, right? What's the argument, the purpose of this paper? And then the body paragraphs, the main points and I go into this into my actual lecture that you'll see here. And then you might have maybe just two immense main points that take like 4 pages each to go through, or maybe you have like 5 main points that you want to go into. However many main points you have here, just some things to kind of help you uh, outline this paper here, right? And then of course your conclusion, and then your references page. Um, Here is what I like about this is, of course, you'll delete this and add your own stuff, but past this outline here, I'll give you a little example of what I would do if I was doing this. So here we have a page here, a hook about what I'm doing social media and mental health and how mental health or social media affects mental health negatively. And so maybe here's my thesis statement right here. And then here's some body paragraphs of some of the points that I made. And then I have 3 points in this paper. Here's the conclusion where I research the thesis, summary of the key points, and final thoughts about it. And then my references that I used. And that's what I want to see from you, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Honestly, this outline is for you. It's for you to help you keep on track. I just want to get you started on this to make sure you know what you're not lost. And if you are, that's why you contact me. But the idea is that it helps you get started on what you are going to write about for your paper itself. And when it's a paper this length, having something like this to kind of give you a backbone to your paper, you kind of go over if you get stuck or if you're like, what should I talk about now? You can go back to something and see, oh, this is what I haven't discussed yet, or I need to add more evidence here, or this evidence and this evidence are the same. Make sure to relate that. Or maybe you want to have a point here and you want to see how this point works well with some of the sources that you have in your paper. And remember, one of the big things that you want to do with your sources in your paper is to use them throughout. Don't, especially if it's a good journal article like we have here, don't just use it once and call it good. A really good study is something that should be used throughout your paper with multiple points. So maybe this study help me support this point and this point, and maybe not point three, but 2 points, and maybe you have a point four and help me use there. Great, excellent. Because you only have to introduce the study once, right? You only have to really set up the credibility once, but once that's done, you're good to go and you can just cite it throughout, right? So keep that in mind as you're going through this. You might want to include some of the sources you're using, like I have here, like multiple sources they're using, not just the one. Maybe you're saying Cho and Edge here, and maybe uh, this one was also used in this point. Just to give you an example. Anyways, that's the outline. That's really all we're working on this week is to make an outline, work on the other assignment, which is the reading, of course, which is all about developing a research paper, which is what we're doing now, right? And that's it. That's all we're working on this week because I just want you to focus on writing your paper, other than reading your book and then the outline. And so that's everything here is just in service to your project three. So project three should you have 2 weeks to write the first draft for peer review. After that, you'll do the peer review, of course, submit it to me, and I'll give you comments, and we'll go from there. But anyways, that's project three. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, like always, I will see you in the next video.